And this is a 2 to 5 player deck building game where players are trying to defend the city from hordes of monsters, where eventually you're going to be facing a final boss. And the game offers a whole bunch of different scenario cards for players to try to complete, with each of them having their own win and lose condition. And the scenario will also let you know which monsters and bosses to include in the scenario. And each player is going to be starting out the game with their own deck of heroes and items, and players will be able to modify this deck and upgrade it throughout the game. But players will also have their own character card as well, and this is going to start at the lowest level, but you will also be able to upgrade your character throughout the game as well. But the way that this game plays is that it's played over a series of rounds, and each player is going to be taking turns as the defending player. And what that means is that any monsters that are in front of that player are going to activate, as well as any monsters on any of the location cards that were part of the scenario. All these monsters will attack that defending player at the end of the round, and if that defending player ever dies, then the players lose the game. But even though there's only one defending player each round, all players get to perform their actions. And every player is allowed to play one hero from their hand as well as one item card. But the catch here is that your item card has to match the same type as the hero that you attach it to. And these cards can have different abilities that get triggered at different points in the round, or they can inflict damage in different ways, either with a set value, or they might even involve dice rolling. And every player is going to periodically have different monsters spawning in front of them, but whatever player is the defending player, those monsters in front of that player are the currently active monsters. Players always have to attack those monsters first before they can attack the monsters on the different locations. But the players really do want to try and defend those locations because you'll get a really nice reward if you're able to do so, and if you're not able to do so, you'll get some pretty harsh consequences. But once per round, you do have a special ability where you can move a monster from one location to another, which might be enough to tip the scales in your favor. Because there's so many different cards and so many different items that can be paired in different ways, and because all the players get to play simultaneously, there's a lot of room for chaining your cards in this game. So if you're a fan of creating those big, exciting chaining attacks, then this is definitely a game that I think you should check out. But after all the players have performed their turns, any remaining monsters will attack the defending player, and then any monsters still on a location will also attack that location. Then the next player becomes the defending player, and the game continues like this until you complete the objectives, or a player runs out of health points. The chaos in Copperforge is going to be adding all sorts of new cards to the game. There's going to be new bosses, new scenarios, and new heroes to play as, but it's also going to be adding a new mechanism to the game, which is called the contraptions mechanism, where you'll be able to upgrade the enemies in the game by giving them some special weapons. But the interesting thing here is once you defeat that enemy, you'll be able to add those weapons to your arsenal. And if you want to know more, I have links in the description below.